Hi there, warm welcome. You're watching Times Now and I'm Meghna. Well, from the day the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly session started, there have been several instances, and repeatedly at that, of ruckus with regular walkouts, sloganeering, storming of the well as well. In fact, it was no different today. The Assembly witnessed a massive brawl. This time around, it was absolute fisticuffs between the BJP and the NC as well as the PDP MLAs. In fact, they were seen jostling inside the Assembly over Article 370. The chaos reportedly erupted after BJP leader and leader of the opposition in the Assembly, Sunil Sharma, objected to the display of the banner by Khurshid Ahmed Sheikh, who is an Awami Ittehad Party MLA. In response, protesting BJP members snatched the banner and they ripped it apart. Well, reports add that BJP leaders at that time, MLAs, RS, Pathania as well as Mohan Lal, were injured during the scuffle inside the house as well. In fact, following this uproar in the house, the Assembly has now been adjourned for the day. In fact, you can see some of those visuals on your screens. Let's get you more breaking news, which is coming in amidst the chaos that we saw in the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly. BJP tears into the I.N.D.I.A bloc. In fact, former Union Minister Smriti Irani has said that the opposition is openly supporting terror. Watch this.
Today, I stand as an Indian outraged at the attempt by the Congress-led I.N.D.I.A alliance to bring to the floor of the House a resolution that stands against the Indian Constitution and the opinion of the Supreme Court of India. The question that now is to be posed to the Congress-led I.N.D.I.A alliance is this: after the revocation of Article 370, tribals in Jammu Kashmir received their constitutionally guaranteed rights. After the revocation of Article 370, the Dalit and OBC community in Jammu Kashmir received, after years of struggle, their constitutional rights. After the revocation of Article 370, women who were constitutionally guaranteed protection against abuse and violence received their constitutional protection. The resolution passed by the I.N.D.I.A alliance led by the Congress party brings to the fore many questions. Does the Congress-led I.N.D.I.A alliance stand against tribal rights, Dalit rights, women's rights, children's rights? Everybody in India knows that after the revocation of Article 370, deaths of civilians, the numbers came down by 80%. Incidents of violence came down by 70%. Tourism in Jammu Kashmir especially went up to a staggering figure of over 2 crore 11 lakh tourists, especially in the Kashmir Valley. Does the Congress-led I.N.D.I.A alliance, today stand against the economic and constitutional interests of Jammu Kashmir? Does the Congress-led I.N.D.I.A alliance today stand against the very premise that when Prime Minister Modi offered a package of 80,000 crore rupees to the citizens of Jammu Kashmir, do they stand against the development work of the government of India for the people of Jammu Kashmir? I am today joined in my outrage by the people of India and the Karyakartas of the Bhartiya Janta Party. The Congress leadership, particularly the Gandhi family, needs to answer: do they stand for terrorism and stand against development of Jammu and Kashmir? Do they stand for breaking of India rather than stand and abide by the Constitution of India? The question that the Congress-led leadership has to answer, particularly in the states of Jharkhand and Maharashtra, do they stand against the valor of citizens who donned uniforms of the Indian Armed Forces to protect us better? Do they stand against tribal rights, rights of Dalits, OBCs, women and children? What they seek is a special status for themselves and not the people of Jammu Kashmir.
देवेंद्र प्राशर।
पिछले 5 सालों में भारत को सत्ता हटने के बाद जिस प्रकार से लगातार डेवलपमेंट को लेकर ही जम्मू कश्मीर में चर्चा होती है।
Well, in fact, let me go across to Yavar, who's joining us. Yavar, we've seen very specific strikes which are being made by the BJP, not just on the NC, the I.N.D.I.A, but specifically the Congress and the Gandhis when it comes to this. But you must tell us first, what happened in the assembly? We've seen 3 days of ruckus already happening, but today, why did things come to a heat that they were literally down to fisticuffs inside the Temple of Democracy?
Well, exactly. Today's scene was totally chaotic, total disorder in the J&K Assembly. In fact, there was the morning session that begins at the 10, and just in the 5 minutes, the House was adjourned for at least 15 minutes. And when it was resumed, it was a total chaotic mood. And also the BJP, they came down heavily on the Congress, saying they should first clear their stand that are they, in support of the terror networks or they are against this. And the Smriti Irani has clarified that Article 370 won't be brought back at any cost. So this is what the BJP MLAs, since we have been in touch with them in the morning, in the afternoon as well, we spoke to them inside the assembly. They said that the Article 370 is a gone case and it will not be brought back. Bring back at any cost. So specifically, they have clarified that unless and until National Conference brought resolution will not be turned down by the Speaker, they will not allow any sort of proceedings to be held. Now remember, tomorrow is the last day of the 5 days long assembly, and it's clear that it will be more chaotic than today, it will be more disorderly than today, it will be more fisky than today. And we saw that today the MLAs, they exchanged fight, they exchanged blow. So clear to mention here is that after since the day one, in fact, the Article 370 had hit the headlines hard in the J&K Assembly, which has seen the floor after the 6th long year. So clearly, there are the things that have been taking place. One side, the PDP has brought the new resolution seeking that the National Conference, they should brought this resolution in the assembly and clarify their stance on what they call. In fact, the Sajjalo, we spoke to him. He said that there is no discussion remaining on the Article 370, and Umar Abdullah-led government should clearly condemn what has happened on the 5th of August 2019, and it should be restoring of the pre-August 4 position. So a lot of the developments are taking place in the Kashmir Valley. Though the Congress has also backed National Conference in the bringing up of this resolution, saying that they are backing this because of the guarantees, because of certain things. So somewhere we are witnessing that the Congress is also turned moved up, and many of the things are around the cards, as tomorrow it will be the last day of the assembly. BJP is not going to happen the proceedings in the House. And so as we saw that Engineer Rashid brother has also put up the displayed banner, all of a thing on the cards. Now interesting to see that what will be the tomorrow scene on the cards, because the BJP has told us categorically that they won't allow any sort of happening to take place on the last day of the assembly. That's true.
Of course, it's also very interesting to see that the NC-backed resolution was a comparatively more watered-down resolution demanding a special status, not taking a very hard stand when it comes to Article 370. But we'll come back and discuss more on that. But before that, let me get you some of the other voices also which are coming in from across the political spectrum after this clash that we saw inside the Assembly.
एक तरफ से वीक रेजोल्यूशन लाते हैं, दूसरी तरफ से ये बीजेपी वाले संघ वाले मिलकर शोर करते हैं. सो नोबडी इज बीइंग अलाउड टू स्पीक. यू ब्रिंग अ वीक रेजोल्यूशन, डोंट अलाउ एनीबडी टू स्पीक. और अब मुझे लगता है ये असेंबली चलेगी नहीं. अल्लाह अल्लाह खैर सला खत्म हो गया. सो कोई धोखा नहीं. इट्स अ बिट्रेयल ऑफ पीपल. ये पहला सेशन था 2019 के बाद. जो आज असेंबली बोलेगी वो होगा मॉरल एक्सेप्टेंस और रिजेक्शन ऑफ 2019. व्हाट डू वी टेल पीपल? एक हाफ बेक्ड, एक एम्बिग्युअस वर्डिंग वाला एक रेजोल्यूशन आता है. इज दिस व्हाट पीपल ऑफ कश्मीर हैड वोटेड फॉर? ये हिस्टोरिकल धोखा होगा, मैं आपको बता रहा हूं. एंड वी विल नॉट बी अ पार्टी टू फ्रॉड.
देखिए, हम उम्मीद करते थे कि यहां पर आवाम के मुफाद में बात होगी,
लेकिन भाजपा वालों के पास कुछ है नहीं। जब से इनका 400 पार का सपना चकनाचूर हुआ, जब से जम्मू कश्मीर के अवाम ने इनको नकारा, तब से इनकी बौखलाहट। वरना आप मुझे बताइए, सदन में आए थे हाउस में, हाउस को चलने देते, बात होती, लेकिन इन्हें ये गुंडागर्दी पे उतर आते हैं, हमला करते हैं। जो मैं समझता हूं, जो टेबल पे जाके जहां संविधान होता है वहां उठ के बैठे चप्पल समेत, मुझे लगता उनसे क्या तवक्का आप करेंगे? आप इनसे तवक्का नहीं करना रूल ऑफ लॉ की, संविधान की। ये लोग वो लोग हैं जो हमें कहते हैं कि ये देश विरोधी है। अरे इनको पता नहीं है, गांधी जी ने, कांग्रेस ने देश की आजादी के लिए लड़ा। इंदिरा गांधी जी की कुर्बानी, राजीव गांधी की कुर्बानी, ये गोडसे को पूजने वाले इनकी साध्वी कहती है हम पूजा करेंगे गोडसे की, और ये हमें नसीहत देंगे। बदकिस्मती, अवाम के मुद्दे थे, हमारे मुद्दे थे बिजली महंगाई का, हमारा मुद्दा था जो हमारे नौजवान बेरोजगार है, कैजुअल लेबर है, रहबरी ज़राअत, जंगलात, रमसा, लेक्चरर्स, उनकी बात भी करनी थी हमें पॉलिटिकल राइट्स के साथ साथ। लेकिन इनके पास है कुछ नहीं, इन्होंने हाउस को चलने नहीं दिया।
इरफान जी एमएलएज इंजर्ड है इसमें, बीजेपी के कुछ एमएलएज भी इसमें इंजर्ड है, मार्शल आउट में।
मुझे इसके बारे में इल्म नहीं है। अगर ऐसा हुआ है, बदकिस्मती है। हम दुआ करते अल्लाह ताला उनको सेहतियाब करे, सही सलामत रखे। हमारी नॉलेज में आपसे आ रहा है, अगर ऐसा हुआ तो बदकिस्मती है।
This resolution talks about condemnation of 5th August move by the Parliament of India, and secondly restoration of special status. Article 370, 35A in its original form. हमने क्लियरली मेंशन किया है कि एम्बिग्यूटी की कोई जरूरत नहीं। कल के रेजोल्यूशन को हमने भी सपोर्ट किया क्योंकि वो बीजेपी के खिलाफ था, बट इट सीक्स कॉल फॉर डायलॉग। There is no scope for dialogue on Article 370. We want restoration of 370 back in its original form.
Jammu and Kashmir is an integral part, an indivisible part of the Union of India, and its sovereignty and integrity is something that is absolutely not up for question, or it is not up for any negotiation. So therefore, if some NC MLAs, National Conference MLAs, want to go back to the cozy times of the past, where a family sort of ran Jammu and Kashmir, or 3 families ran Jammu and Kashmir as a private subsidiary funded by the taxpayers of India, that is certainly not going to happen. So if they want to create chaos, they want to create some political hoo-ha, brouhaha about Article 370, they're free to do so, but that is a chapter long since closed.
Well, there you have it, a big story which is coming in from Jammu and Kashmir after 3 days of massing fights that we have seen, which have broken out inside the Jammu and Kashmir. Today, it literally came down to fisticuffs. In fact, you can see the way that BJP MLA was also marshalled out. Some of them reportedly are injured as well. This happened after there was a banner which was displayed by the brother of Engineer Rashid, and you can see him right there in the middle window, where he held up a banner in support of Article 370, saying that it must be restored, following which you had this massive scuffle after BJP MLAs got up, picked up the banner for him and ripped it apart, which led to a massive fisty fight inside the floor of the house. You can see that banner there in the middle of your screens, which was held up by the brother of Engineer Rashid, who is also an elected representative in the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly. So this is the massive hangama we've seen inside the house. The Omar government, remember, has already passed a resolution on Article 370. However, there has been criticism that the resolution which has been passed only advised consultation to begin. It wasn't as strongly worded as some of the other regional parties wanted it to be. But needless to say, that this has raked up a massive brawl inside the assembly, as you can see, followed by a massive war of words, which happened after the assembly session was adjourned. Remember, the speaker had no choice but to adjourn the assembly session. What we are going to be doing is explaining these visuals which are coming in. Where it all started with this poster that you can see on your screens in yellow. It says, "We demand the restoration of Article 370. This man who's holding up this poster is an elected representative, also the brother of Engineer Rashid, who, remember, this time around has floated his own party, and that's his brother holding up "We demand the restoration of Article 370" poster, as well as the release of political prisoners poster up in the assembly. What happened after that? Well, this led to the BJP MLAs then standing up and objecting. They all stood up, objected, and as you can see, they ripped this banner apart. You can see pieces of that banner being thrown up by the BJP MLAs, ripped it apart. This led to a massive brawl, this fisticuff, as you can see, people being pushed around, jostling with each other, hitting each other on the head and pushing each other around, which led to the BJP MLA being marshalled out of the assembly. Following this, the Speaker adjourned the House. Well, this is the scene that we saw regarding Article 370 inside the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly. Well, we are going to be tracking this very closely here on Times Now. But for the time being, we are slipping into a short break. Don't go anywhere.